The girls were gone. Those thugs took Kanzaki and Kayano with them. The boys were beaten up and unconscious on the ground, even Karma. "Nagisa, Sujino," Okuda said. "Goodness, are you okay?" Both of them whined, holding their head, and sat up. Meanwhile, Wayan ran toward Karma, who was laying on the ground still. His eyes were closed, and his clothes were dirty. She took his arm in an attempt to wake him, but he wasn't budging. He was breathing, though. Did they hit his head too hard? Wayan thought and panicked. Her hands were shaky, and she was afraid that maybe he wouldn't wake up for a while. They needed to find the girls, too. But how would they do that with Karma down like this? She picked up his head and put it on her lap. Is he still not up? Why? Sujino was talking but stopped in the middle. He saw Karma putting up his thumb. Wayan didn't notice that. Her eyes were fixed on his face. She frowned and slapped his cheek. He still didn't budge, though. Maybe I should look for an injury on his head. He must be unconscious for that, Wayan said, and was about to pull his head up when Karma opened his eyes and smirked. Your lap is really cushiony, Wayan. He noticed her frowning. She looked pissed. She immediately got up, not caring if his head hit the ground now. It's not funny, Karma. Kaino and Kanzaki are missing, so if you thought this was the time to make a joke. Wayan started ranting when Karma sighed and said, Relax, we'll find them. You guys alright? Those guys didn't do anything to you, did they? Nagisa asked. It's okay, I'm fine, Okuda said. Sorry, I didn't know what to do, so I just hid like a coward, Wayan said, rubbing her neck, feeling embarrassed. Hey, you saved me. I was stuck there, and if it wasn't for you, they would have taken me as well. I was useless, though, Okuda said, feeling dejected. Don't sweat it. You did the right thing. I think it's safe to assume that those guys are hardcore. We could go to the cops, but they know how to get around the system, Karma said. He had his evil face on. It's fine, though, 'cause I'm the type who likes to handle these things personally. You know what I mean? Okay, but how do we even find them? Sujino asked. I just hope they're fine. I'm not too worried about Kayano. I know she's brave and I can feel it, but I don't know about Kanzaki. I don't get her vibe. I mean, she's not faking it, being all nice and innocent, but I don't know, it's just a hunch, Wayan said. What's that supposed to mean? Sujino said, gritting his teeth. I'm telling you the vibe I get from them. I'm not bitching about them, Wayan said. Before another fight started, Nagisa stepped forward with the guidebook that Koro provided them and said, Hey, come on, I'm sure there's something in here. Sujino and Wayan stared at each other with pissed-off faces and decided to let it go. It wasn't the time to fight. They surrounded Nagisa and looked to the guidebook, and sure enough, there was information on the topic. If a group member gets abducted, I'll have to say it. What kind of guidebook covers this stuff? Sujino said, sighing. There's even a guide on how to recover from the shock of seeing souvenirs brought in Kyoto being sold in Tokyo department store, Nagisa said. Anyways, at least it calmed us down. I, for one, feel pretty confident about what to do. I don't think everyone is confident here, Sujino said, his eyes fixed on Wayan. Wayan was stubborn too. She said, I also don't think everyone has calmed down. Some people just like to act more based on their romantic feelings and completely forget to think about it logically. That was probably what irked Sujino the most. He felt embarrassed to be called out like that in front of everyone. He would have been okay if it was just the boys, but with Okuda here, he felt exposed. He sneered. Oh, of course you would know everything about that. Isn't that right, Karma? Wayan stood there, feeling helpless about the situation. Karma sighed and said, You guys act like children. Sujino, if I were you, I would trust Wayan's hunch. Yeah, that's right, Wayan shouted, still trying to control her embarrassment. You shouldn't be celebrating. Your hunch does sound like backbitching. Work on your words, Karma said, his brows furrowed. Wayan was a bit hurt. She knew he probably did this to end the fight, but she still couldn't help but feel Karma was probably lashing out because he felt embarrassed about it. but he wasn't exactly the type to feel embarrassed. He was the one who would flaunt it. Was she wrong about him? So, I found the way, Nagisa said. Turned out, Hwayen's hunch about Kanzaki was right. Well, not all of it. She wasn't dark or anything. It's just that her past was different than how she was right now. Koro came in at the last moment and took down these boys. The day was almost over, and the students were all wearing bathrobes and enjoying all the time they got in their hands in the hotel. PG-13 stuff, okay? Hwayen tried to sit down properly without flashing everyone in the girls' room when Rio nudged her. She looked at her friend who had evil eyes. Uh-oh, Hwayen muttered. What are you thinking? Want a sneak peek? Rio said, wiggling her eyebrows suggestively. What? Hwayen's face flushed. Don't worry, I'm not talking about karma. The boys are already done. I just saw Koro-sensei get in. Wait, isn't that invasion of privacy? We shouldn't. Oh, for fuck's sake, he's gonna blow up the planet. Fuck his privacy. Just come along, it'll be fun, Rio said, quietly getting out of the room. Phil was waiting outside the room. Oh, she's coming too, Rio informed. There was an outside bathroom. Hwayen even brought a knife with her, and everyone was ready to pounce on Koro and try their luck in killing him when suddenly a voice from behind scared them. Hey, Nagisa said. What are you guys doing? Fua immediately shushed him, and Rio explained. What does it look like we're doing? Trying to sneak a peek. That's supposed to be our job, Okajima said. That's nobody's job, Nagisa said. But what is Hwayen doing here? Sujino asked, looking at her. I didn't think she was the type. They just stared at each other. Sujino was wondering if Hwayen was still pissed at him about earlier. It created an awkward atmosphere after their fight. She dragged me here, Hwayen said, trying to sound convincing. Rio opened the door and explained. Look at that outfit hung inside. You want to know what he looks like naked, right? It might be our only opportunity to kill him. Does he have a proper body? Or does he have tentacles all the way down? The students tiptoed inside and came to the sight of their teacher having a bubble bath. Well, he explained that the mucus of his body acts as an exfoliant on contact with water. Of course, their attempts completely failed because Koro escaped through the window. Rio sighed. Well, at least we tried. Everyone exited the bathroom and was about to go to their own rooms when Sujino called Hwayen. She explained everything about their little fight to Rio, so she dragged everyone away and cleared the area for them to talk. Hey, look, I'm sorry about what I said back then. I crossed a line, I guess. Sujino apologized. I don't want us to act like strangers. No, it's fine. It's just that when you say that in front of the very person I like, it makes me feel self-conscious. And, I'm sorry too. I started it. No, it should have been fine even if you said that. Everyone likes Kanzaki. It's just that, Sujino said, the way you exactly pinpointed out what I was feeling, it was a bit scary. For a moment, I felt like you would spill everything about me and it kind of scared me. I know, it's kind of freaky. I've been informed. It's a gut feeling, and because you accused me of something like back-bitching, it pissed me off. I know. How did you know about Kanzaki? There were no signs. She's too perfect to be Section E. Everyone hides something about themselves, especially if they're in our class. It was just an observation. You guys could have noticed it too, but all of you were too nice to think about it. Well, I'm glad we cleared things up. Uh-huh. If you don't mind, can you find out who Kanzaki's crushing on? Hwayen asked teasingly. Sorry, I can't do that. But you can do your thing, right? Just guess about it. Hey, I'm not observing her all the time, you know? I don't know about that. Okay, Sujino said dejectedly. Bye. Hwayen walked toward the girls' section, and Sujino entered the boys' room. She heard several voices inside, and the conversations were around girls. She wanted to stay a bit longer, but then that would be an invasion of privacy. She was about to leave when she heard her name that piqued her interest. Karma, great timing. Which of the girls in your class do you like? Mahara asked. I'd have to go with Okuda, Karma said. Wyan gasped. No one would have guessed it. Even the boys were asking if he was sure. Her mood went downhill hearing that. She didn't wait to hear him confirm it. He did say all of it on his own. No one was forcing him. That night, it was chaotic. Cora was getting information about who liked who from both the girls and the boys. They were all chasing him down. Rio seemed to be enjoying the time. Wyan would have called her for comfort, but she thought, just because I'm feeling down doesn't mean I should bring her mood down too. It's a school trip for fuck's sake. In the midst of the chaos, she walked down the hall, watching the students chase Koro. She noticed two figures who weren't. One was Nagi-san and the other was Karma. He looked at her with the same smirk on his face. She had no reason to complain, though. Of course, he was just flirting. It might be because he was that easy, but still, she found her answer. Karma didn't break the fight between Sujino and Wyan, did he? He just changed the topic and silenced them. Hello, everyone. Thank you for staying with me for this chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm going to try to pump out as many videos as possible. I checked the post that I made, and apparently you guys want me to continue this series and the Asano series, so I'm gonna keep doing that. I do again want to try to put like one-shots in between. I don't know how many that would be. But yeah. The Asano series is very long. The Karma one is like 20 chapters, but the Asano is very long. I don't know how long it's gonna take for me to finish it. Yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have an amazing morning, have an amazing afternoon, have an amazing evening whenever you're listening to this, and I will see you guys when I see you guys. Goodbye, everyone.